Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Harleen Dindona, an ICCRC approved consultant. My company's name is Next World Canada Immigration Consulting Inc. and we are located in Ontario, Canada. So till now we have discussed listening, reading and writing sections in previous videos. In this video, I will talk about speaking test. But before we start, please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, subscribe it. This will give me motivation and encouragement to create more videos. Please note that although there are two types of IELTS test, which are IELTS General and IELTS Academic, we will be discussing IELTS Journal only as this is the module required for immigration. Okay, so let's talk about speaking test. Speaking test is basically a one-to-one interaction between the examiner and the candidate, which is recorded. Speaking has 3 sections in all. Section 1 has a brief introduction in which the examiner introduces him or herself and asks you to introduce yourself and confirm your identity. The examiner asks you journal questions on familiar topics. For example, family, work, studies, your area of interest, and so on. In section 2, the examiner gives you a task card which asks you to talk about a particular topic and which includes points you can cover in your talk. You are given 1 minute to prepare your talk and you are given a pencil and a paper to make notes. You talk for 1-2 minutes on the topic. The examiner then asks you 1 or 2 questions on the same topic. In section 3, the examiner asks further questions which are connected to the topic of section 2. This gives you an opportunity to discuss more general issues and ideas. Now, coming to the speaking test tips. Tip number 1 is, in the lead up to the speaking test, make sure you take the time to practice speaking English with friends, at work, and on the phone. You should also consider recording yourself so that you are confident speaking English during your test. Next tip is that there are no right or wrong answers in the speaking test. The examiner will assess you on how well you can express your ideas and opinions in good English. Third tip is that it will help you to feel relaxed if you imagine you are talking to your own friend. Please remember that you are not being assessed on your opinions, rather on your use of English. Tip number 4 is, try to avoid repeating the words used in the examiner's question. Use your own words to show the examiner your full ability to speak. Tip number 5 is, speak clearly and at a natural pace. If you speak too quickly, you may make mistakes or pronounce words incorrectly. Next tip is, answer in as much detail as you can. Don't just answer yes or no. Try to develop your response to each question. Draw your own experience and give your examples. The examiner wants to hear whether you can talk at length on a range of topics. And trust me, If you answer any question with the help of an example, you will never fall short of words or ideas. Tip number 7 is that use the correct verb tense when answering questions in the speaking test. Listen carefully to the question and notice which verb tense is used. For example, if the question is, what kind of music do you like? So that is in the present tense. Your answer should also be in the present tense. Example, I like pop music the best. You can go on to use other tenses as you extend your response. Example, I haven't always enjoyed that kind of music, and so on. Next tip is practice the pronunciation of numbers to be sure that your meaning is clear. For example, many numbers can sound very similar when spoken. So be sure to say them clearly. Example, 30 and 13, 40 and 14, 50 and 15, etc. Tip number 9 is it is better to use simple, commonly used vocabulary and to use it correctly than to use advanced vocabulary that you are unsure about. However, to get a high score, you must also show that how you can use more advanced vocabulary. In part 2, the examiner will give you a task card and some paper. You then have 1 minute to prepare your answer. So first think about the topic and then decide which is the most appropriate tense to use in your response. You should use the same tense as the questions on the card. Next tip is try to answer as fully as possible and give reasons for your answers. This will help you to use a wider range of vocabulary and grammar. So this was all about the tips related to speaking test. And if you have liked this video, please subscribe to my channel. This will give me motivation and encouragement to create more videos. I'll very soon post new videos about Canadian immigration. Till then, goodbye and take good care of yourself.